Hi everyone, I'm back. So what we're going to do now is lace this tree. And you might not know what lace is. I do this to all my trees. I don't know if other people do it. It was my idea because my tree would do this. And what that does is it separates wherever you put a hook or a tie and you hang it in your window. What eventually happens is these move and then you end up with a big uneven mess. You have big spaces here and it looks like garbage. Now, I don't know about you. I worked hard on this tree and I like it a lot. And I want it to stay nice. Whether I keep it, sell it, give it away, I want it to look as pretty tomorrow as it does right now. So I'm going to show you what lacing is all about. So we want to keep our branches in a way that is pleasing to our work. We want it to look beautiful. So I made this with 22 gauge wire and I only lace with 24 gauge wire, and this is the one I use. It's also in a playlist of things I use. I got this from Amazon. I don't measure my wire when I lace. Every tree is different. Now I'm going to turn this over so we can get a better idea of what we're looking at. I want to be able to hold every one of these branches in place with a piece of wire so that they don't slip. So the way I measure is really simple. I take this 24 gauge wire, I start at the bottom and I hold it away from my tree like this, go nice and loose all the way around the tree like that, and then I cut the wire. Why do I do it like that? Well, it's really simple. In a situation like this, to go from one branch to the next, I'm going to have to use a few wraps onto the hoop. I don't want to bunch them up, then it won't look beautiful. And I don't want to stretch the wire so much that you can see a web from branch to branch. So, there's only two spots on lacing your tree that you're going to use a wire cutter or any tool, and that is the beginning and the end. And basically you've been doing this, if you've made a tree with me or on your own, you've probably been doing this all along. So I take my wire like this, I bring it in. Now this one here isn't connected, that's just a dangling branch. So to the first branch I will take this wire, bring it up through my hoop, bring it back like this, hold on to this piece, the long piece. The small piece, you can wrap it around your hoop one time or two, however long you leave that little piece. There are no rules. The next thing you're going to do is take this little piece of wire. See, here's where you wrapped it around your hoop. Now you've got this little tail end. Can you see this? I'm going to grab onto it. We're going to cross it over this first branch. This one here is a little bit too short because that's 4 wires. So give yourself a little extra room. Wrap it around your hoop from behind. Bring it nice and close. And take this little wire and cross it completely over all of these right here. Cross it over. Now we're going to do the same thing we've been doing all along. Push this little wire down. This is how we end every single branch that we connect to our hoop. Now I'm going to need some help, so I'm going to grab my tweezers. Just going to grab this little wire, the one that you just wrapped, bring it down. Now it's in the back. Can you see that? Here it is right here. Bring it back up the front. Keeping this out of your way. Grab that little wire. Cross it over one more time. And now secure it the same way you would wrap a wire around any branch that you've done. Bring your wire up, cross it across the top of your first branch, poke it down, bring it up and close it Now that's done and this is secure. What I like to do next, because I want to go across that first branch, I'm not going to go to the next. Instead, I'm going to find the end of my wire and I'm going to go pass it down the hoop, but before that first branch that we just attached it to, and bring it down nice and tight. Now that wire goes across that branch. When I attach it to the next branch, this will not move like this. It's going to be attached and then it won't move. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do these one at a time, and with each one you're going to separate your branch. This is your chance. This is how you're going to get your tree to be the way you want it and secure it, because once you do that, the most you'll be able to do is slip your wire enough to put a hoop on a jump ring to connect a chain. So, and they don't all have to be perfect, they just need to be secure. So what you're going to do now, take that wire, get the end, bring it right up so you can see. This is where you brought it up. We're not going to go to the next branch. The next branch is way over here. All the way over here. Let's just lift that. That's a lot of space. You can't do that. It's going to look awful. It'll reach, but it's not going to be pretty. Take your wire, pass it down a space in between that first branch and the next one. Sometimes you don't have to if it's a close together branch like this. This one here. There's one wrap in between each, and then it crosses over. Can you see this little line right here? In between, right there, and then you have two, which is your row, and then this little wire, then two, that's your row, where we beaded, cut, and wrapped it around the neck of that wire. We did that all the way around, and we ended it the same way we end every single row we do together, and the way we start. So, with that, we're going to bring this down. This 24 gauge wire is very soft compared to the 22. It wraps very nicely. Bring it down. Now you see that little line right there? Give it a little tug. That branch is no longer going to move. So make sure you get it where you want it. Now, the next branch. We have a space from where we wrapped the hoop to there. Do we want to just bring it over? I guess you could if you wanted to. I don't think that you need to. I'm not going to. Just going to pass it down in between and wrap it one time around the hoop. This gives me enough room. If I want to move the branch a little bit, I can. Now give that a tug. This is secure. Now I'm going to move that branch. See this one here? See how this moves? Take this wire, cross it right over this one, the top of that branch, pass it down like that. Work out a twist if you get one. Pull on it, bring it up, look for your next wire. Your next wire is right there. You can go right over that one. You don't have to go around your hoop. It's a small enough space, and I'm happy with the placement of that branch. So I'm just going to pass that down, go underneath anything that's above the hoop, don't catch a leaf, and now that one is wrapped around that branch. Now this one doesn't move, won't slide. This one won't slide. And now we've gone to this one, we have not wrapped it, and just moving that one affects all of these. Watch, just moving it. Everyone moves. They're all connected. It's every branch. That little wrap will save your tree from spreading and making big parts and separations in between your branches. So now that we've gone over that branch, I'm going to pass it down. I could go to the next one. I don't think I'll do that. It's your choice. Your tree. Just make sure that when you do wrap it, we're ready to wrap this one, but I want to make sure I make the placement exactly where I want it to be and cover exactly what I want it to cover. I like spaces, I just don't like big, huge spaces. So I'm going to give that a tug, and I'm going to hold on to it. And this right here, I think I like it right about there. I'm going to hold my finger right here on top of that wire where I wrapped it around the hoop, the branch. Now I'm going to pass this wire down. A little bit harder to see with all these branches, but it's okay. Now I crossed it right over. Can you see that? It's crossed over this branch right there. Give it a good tug. Now watch. It doesn't move. It doesn't slide all over the place. A little bit, and wrap it around the hoop again, and I'll show you in a minute. Look at all that space between that and the next branch. So I'm just going to hold on to this just to show you that they don't move. You see that? Nothing is sliding. Everything is where I want it. Now we're going to wrap this one. These, look at that. Can you see that? I don't like that. Do you like that? How about that? Do you think that's pretty? That's what's going to happen if you don't lace. Eventually, they will separate and your branch will break. I won't steer you wrong. You work too hard, I work too hard to show you how to do it the right way. It's up to you to do it. Now, take this wire. You've wrapped it around the branch, the top, around your hoop. You can go another time around the hoop if you want. I don't need to. I'm just going to pass it right over the top of this one. You see it still moves. Pass it down. Give it a tug. Make sure it's where you want it. Still hold on to your work. Support it right there. Don't let it go. It will loosen up. Wrap it around your hoop again. And now it's time to think about this. Do you like that? I don't like that. We're going to make sure that never happens again. In the meantime, none of these will move. They're all secure and they're going to stay that way. So now, always, when you're preparing your next branch, hold on to your work. Support both the branch you just wrapped and where the wire is. Even if you have to put it over your finger like that, keep the tension on it just for a minute. Adjust your branch. Now you're ready to take this wire, cross over the top of that branch, give it a tug, and go around the hoop again. Like that. So now these don't move. You're not going to have a big gaping hole ever. It won't happen. You've secured your work. So now you can go back and you can mess around with these. You can move them a little bit with your finger to put a jump ring in there. So that, depending on how you want to hang it, we'll get to that as well. Now we're ready for this branch right here. You see this? When this happens, right down here is where your branch is going to break. Let it hang, let the weight of that branch pull down here, it's going to break. If it is in a window, it'll break. If you have a chain right there, it's going to move it and it's going to break. Not if you lace your branch. Take this wire that you've wrapped over the previous branch around the hoop, hold on to it, adjust this branch to where you want it. Once you get it to where you like it, see, it just goes back. Hold on to it. Don't catch a little leaf. If you have a bead or a leaf, gently move it out of your way. Wrap it around the top of this branch. When you do that, get it all the way up under the hoop. Now give it a tug. And you can adjust your little leaf, your branch, and make it beautiful. Don't let it go though, because if you do, it's going to move. Hold on to it, take your wire, tuck it down into this disgusting space right here that's going to break if we're not careful. You don't want that space. Give it a tug. Now slide your finger over to the next one that you just wrapped. Bring this branch. Be mindful and gentle because you do have other branches. So lift it up. Take a peek at what you've got going on. Lift this one up, and you'll see there's a little leaf right there. You don't want to snap that off. Just move it away from your hoop. Take that wire that you're holding on to. Adjust your branch, cross over the top right there. Now I'm still holding on to this one. Now I'll hold on to this one. Take your wire down, and if you loosen up, it's going to move. Don't loosen up. Hang on to it. Move your finger up a little bit. Slide the wire. Pass it right down in between that space. Give it a tug. Move your finger over to that wire. Now you can slide your branch. I think I'd like to go around again because that's not even the right branch. I'm going to go around my hoop again. Like that. Bring it up. Now bring your branch over. Take your wire and cross over the top of this branch. Sorry if I was out of focus there for a minute. I'm holding this close to my chest. Standing. Give it a tug. Slide your next wire. This one. Pass it over the top. This is one of the situations I'm running into with working so close. It takes a while for it to focus. So before you couldn't see my hands, and now it is not easy to focus. Holding on to that still. 2 wraps in that big space. Go to your next branch. See this one? That's not good. I'm going to fix that. Take your wire and wrap it right across the top of that branch. Now, if you want, you don't have to wrap it around your hoop twice. I do prefer to do that. I did not right here. You don't have to. I just think it's good measure, but unnecessary if you don't want to. It's more important that you lace. You're just wrapping your wire around the hoop for stability. You're holding on to everything. Move it and inch your way up and hold on to everything. We didn't go here yet, so hold on to everything you've already done. Now I'm letting go, but this finger right here is holding that wire. Now we're going to go on to this branch right here, this one. Take that wire that your finger's holding on to. Don't move it, just move your little branch. If it gets tricky, just don't let go of what you're holding on to right here. This, don't let it go. Gotta fuss with it and fiddle with it to get it in your hand with 2 fingers. This hand is too busy. Now crossing right over that. Right over that. See it? Now it's not going to move. Take that, put your finger over it. The next branch is way over here. So what I'm going to do, keep my finger right there. I'm going to pass it down. I did not cross over the next one yet. Just going to wrap it around the hoop. Now I can lighten up and move my fingers up a little bit. See? That's passed over. Right here, I wrapped it around the hoop. And I've got it right there. I'll hold on to that. And now I can pass it around the next branch. It's tricky because you can't let go with this hand. All this is busy securing your work. Now, get that little leaf, get it under it, gently move it and cross over the top of that one. See? Now this one won't move. And scoot your fingers over a little bit more. You still have to hold everything. You need 3 hands. You've only got 2. Make it work. Right now this is in my rib cage because I'm standing. Now we secured that branch. It's not going anywhere. If I let this loose, it'll move, so I'm not. That's why I'm holding it. See how tight I'm holding it? Don't let it move. Wrap it around your hoop again. I'm still holding on to it. Now bring it up and adjust your branch. Scoot your finger over a little bit. Take this wire, wrap it over the top, cross right over that branch, bring it up, pass it over again, because that's the last branch. This one's not connected. Now, when you bring it back up, cross over the neck of the branch that you've just crossed over, just as though you were going to cut your wire after beating your branch. Bring it down, bring it up, cross it over. Now you're going to clip your wire like that. And now this little tail, I'm going to just push down on it and wrap it around the top of that branch. Now, gently just give everything a little adjustment with your finger. You don't have to push and pull. Nothing's going to break. You've secured your work. And you've wasted this much wire. It's a couple of inches. You know what I do with that? I fold it in half and I put it right here into a little container because I could use it on a nest. I could use it for a lot of different things. So now, let's see. What happens when I do this? Do you see this? Nothing happens. They don't move. Do you remember when I did this, the big spaces? That's not going to happen. They don't move. You've secured your work. Good job. Over 2 hours to make this, not counting the branches. And it took us 22 minutes to lace. Was it worth it? You bet your buck it was. Your money, your time, your project, lace your tree. That's the best advice I can give you because you're worth it. And this is worth it. So now that we know that these branches are not going to slide, I can force it to move a little bit if I had to hang. I can use a silk ribbon, a velvet bow. Not today. Today, right now that I've secured my work, I'm just going to go back and just do a couple of little curls. Tighten it up a little bit. Any place you see it needs something. We've already done this as we were going. Whether you do it on a tree that you add branches to, or on a tree that you just string them along, the important thing is, this is your work. This represents your time, your knowledge, and your craft. If you do it well, you've done your job. If this doesn't move, you've secured your work. That's beautiful. So what we're going to do now that our work is secure, I know it's not going to go anywhere because we worked hard to fix that. I would like to add a little pendant at the bottom. This is a rose quartz. It is also one of the things I buy from Amazon. I think that just adds a little bit of elegance. It's in a playlist. You do have to put a jump ring on here first. Otherwise, it won't hang like that. It'll hang like that. And that doesn't look good. That's not the front. That's the side. Because of this veil, you need to put a jump ring. So, with that, you're going to need your pliers. And I moved everything around. I'm going to just take a quick peek. Yes, everything's right here. So once you get it on, I like to just go back, make sure it's closed. It's not going to come undone. Now we're going to get into the middle of this root. So we're going to count over 6. 2, 4, do it this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is the center. Take your jump ring. Sometimes it gives me grief, and it'll go through the front and through the back of a different root. It did not. We're good to go. Now, just like that, put your charm, whatever you choose, or nothing, to put on the bottom. I'm going to do it the wrong way, but before I do it the wrong way, I'm going to show you the right way. The right way to close a jump ring is to use 2 pliers like this and bring one towards you and one away. You're turning in opposite directions like that, and they line up, and you've done your job, and they're even. You can always go back and make sure. If you see it off a little tiny bit, it's a perfect little connection. I don't always do it that way. Now, to hang this, you can use a ribbon. Ribbon always looks beautiful. I'm going to use a chain. So I went ahead and cut 2 even pieces of chain, and here's one, and the other is the other one is gone. I just cut it a minute ago, guys. Been moving things around, so let's see. Here we go. So this is a paperclip chain also. I purchased this on Amazon. I like to have, I think there's 10 links here. So what I do, just slip them on to a wire or anything that you might have. Like that. Just to make sure that they're even. They are even. So now I'm going to take a jump ring and I'm going to connect it so that when I hang it, this can go over a nail if you're going to put it on a wall, a tack, or a suction cup, which is my preference. Put both of your chain on your jump ring, and you have a choice to do it the right way or the wrong way. I showed you the right way. I'm not always compliant. Sometimes I do that to save time. You can do that. Just make sure if you do that, you do this, so that it doesn't slip off, because that would be unfortunate. Just double check. So now you want to make sure that your beautiful gift hangs in the middle. So you're going to have to eyeball it. Sometimes you can get it on the first try, sometimes not. I would like it to be far enough away that there's a space like that. Let me pull this down. If you have them too close together, it looks kind of silly to me. So I like to just look at my branches. It has to go before a branch. So I like it to hang like that. Can you see that? I like the point, the top of my chain. Let me pull this back down a little bit more so you can see. I'd rather have it on the side and have it hang like that from here. So I'm going to just turn this around, and it might help you to turn your project over so you can see the branches are not evenly spaced, but it gives you an idea where you're going to need to put a jump ring. So I'm thinking maybe here. If I put one here, let's see. Sometimes these go right on. You don't have to stretch it or open it. I'd rather not if I don't have to, and I didn't. Oops, came off. Now if you didn't lace your branch and you do this, I'm so sorry for you. Your branch is going to slide and your wire is going to break. Your tree is going to hang all crooked in a window, and your gift, your hard work, is worth nothing. because it looks like garbage. Sorry, that's the fact. Once those branches separate, you've killed a tree of life that doesn't die. So now that my jump ring is going to give me grief, sometimes I can get it on right now. It's in front of the branch, but it's not on the hoop. We'll try it again. Just grab onto it. It went on okay. Let's swing it around there. Before, it was in front and behind. That's not going to help me. So I'd like to just, now that I have it where I would like it to work, put my hoop, my chain on the hoop, hang on to it. And this is why I do it the wrong way, because I don't have enough room to hold it, support it, and use 2 pliers. I just don't. So, on my manicure, I'm going to ruin it. Just use your fingernail. Or at this point, you can use another pair of pliers. Obviously, I don't care. See? So, now is the fun part. Now we have to lay our project in front of us. We need to determine exactly where we want to put the other piece of chain. Just arrange some of your branches. We've already done all that. Now it's just a matter of me being fussy. It's okay, it's my tree. Just eyeball it and see where you think that jump ring should go. I'm thinking right here, and right before this wire that I did not push down. Okay, so now I got a jump ring. I'm going to put it right here before that branch that doesn't slide all over the place. Just pop it on like that. Take your chain, bring it over like that. And hope it doesn't fall off. Now I'm just going to close my jump ring and use my thumb as the other pair of pliers. Push that down. Just give it a little push like that, and now it's secure. So now you get to see if it worked. Now I'm going to look first, and I'll let you know. And it worked beautifully. The other thing I want to show you, if it looks crooked, you can do this. You can move your trunk. Don't mess with your tree branches. I mean, you can if you want to. Personally, I don't advise it. What I will do right now, though, is right here. I'm just going to twirl that a little bit. Just give it a little tap with my plastic pliers like this. Don't squeeze, just gently rotate it. And it blended that wire in that didn't look so appealing. And now you have completed your project. There. It's in the middle. It'll hang beautifully, and anybody would be proud to have received a gift of life like this from you, that you made by yourself, with a granddaughter, with a niece, and it's quite beautiful. So my friends, I'm going to leave you with this beautiful tree of life that never dies that we made together. I will make a little video of it, and I'll post that. The tutorial for this is going to be ready in about an hour because it's a long tutorial. So it's uploading, and once it does, you'll be able to view the entire project. And then the last part right here. So, thank you again for spending your Saturday with me, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.